If a man who already has a girlfriend or is married is pursuing you, I want you to hear this clearly. He is not doing it out of love. And no, it's not because his partner no longer understands him, nor because he's never felt this way with anyone else, nor because you are special and different. All of that may sound sweet. It might even awaken a secret hope inside you. But it's not the whole truth. The truth is this. When a man reaches for you while he already belongs to another, he isn't thinking about love. He's thinking about himself. He's chasing the reflection of his own desire, not the reality of you. What draws him isn't your soul, but the sensation you give him, the feeling of still being wanted, still being powerful, still being able to take. It's not about connection. It's about consumption. He's not offering a future. He's reaching for an escape. You must see that clearly before his words blur your vision. Because the more you listen to his stories, the easier it becomes to believe that you're saving him from a life he no longer wants. But in truth, you're not his salvation. You're his distraction. He isn't leaving his partner for you. He's leaving himself for a moment of illusion. A man who is whole doesn't need to steal pieces of love from two hearts to feel complete. Only a man at war with himself looks for comfort in the arms of someone who isn't his. That kind of desire isn't sacred. It's self-serving. And when you step into that fire, you might feel warmth at first, but soon you'll realize it burns you far more than it lights you. He'll tell you things like, "You're the only one who really gets me," or, "With you, I can finally be myself." But those words are weapons disguised as tenderness. They're built to make you drop your guard, to make you feel chosen, when in fact, you're just being borrowed. He's not thinking of how to build a life with you. He's thinking of how to escape the one he already ruined. You see, when a man pursues you while still bound to another, he's not guided by courage or love. He's driven by ego. He wants to feel desired again because somewhere in his life, he stopped feeling like enough. Instead of facing that truth, he looks for someone who will remind him that he still matters. And that's where you come in. You become his mirror, his proof that he's still attractive, still interesting, still alive. Every text, every secret meeting, every moment of intimacy isn't a step toward love. It's a step away from honesty. He isn't falling for you. He's running from himself. And though it might look like passion, it's really just pain dressed as desire. Listen to me, because this is where most hearts get lost. When a man like that touches you, he's not touching your soul. He's touching his own emptiness. You're not the answer he's been searching for. You're the silence he uses to drown the noise inside him. He will say he's unhappy. He will tell you his relationship is over, that they sleep in separate beds, that you're the one who brings light back into his world. You'll want to believe him, because deep down, you'll feel the intensity, the chemistry, the way your conversations stretch into the night. But please understand, intensity is not intimacy, and chemistry is not commitment. If he were truly brave, he would end what's broken before starting something new. If he were honest, he would face the pain of truth instead of weaving a web of excuses. Love requires integrity, and integrity doesn't live in secret messages, hidden calls, or promises whispered in the dark. A man who cannot stand alone cannot stand beside you. And if he cannot choose with clarity, he will eventually leave you carrying the weight of his indecision. He will say he loves you, and maybe he even believes he does. But love without responsibility is just selfishness, with good intentions. Let me tell you something real. When a man truly loves, he doesn't gamble with what matters to him. He doesn't risk the woman he claims to care for by placing her in a position of secrecy. If he's asking you to hide, to wait, to understand, to be patient, he's not protecting you. He's protecting his comfort, his reputation, his double life. He hides because you're not part of his real world. You're part of his escape world. And I know, it hurts to admit that. Because part of you might think, maybe this time it's different. Maybe I'm the exception. But exceptions are illusions that keep you stuck in someone else's story. You deserve to be the story itself, not a hidden chapter torn from another woman's life. He might tell you that love is complicated, but love is not complicated. Lies are. Secrets are. Fear is. Real love is clear, brave, transparent. Real love does not need to apologize for existing. Real love does not need to hide behind closed curtains or whisper through midnight texts. You must see through the fog he creates. Every time he says, "Just give me time," what he really means is, I want to keep everything exactly as it is. He's not building a bridge toward you. He's building a cage that traps you both in guilt. He'll talk about leaving, about someday, about soon, but someday never comes. Soon becomes months, then years. And all the while, your heart waits for a door he never intends to open. Understand this: the man who truly wants to be with you will move mountains to do so. He won't let you live in shadows. He won't ask for patience while he keeps his comfort. He will act, because a man who cannot act on love does not deserve it. So if you find yourself being pursued by someone who already belongs to another, stop asking what he wants from you. Ask what you want from yourself. Do you want to be borrowed, or do you want to be chosen? Do you want to live in someone else's half-light, or do you want to stand in your own sun? Because the truth is, you will never be loved fully by someone who still belongs halfway somewhere else. And the moment you accept that truth, you stop waiting for crumbs and start demanding a feast. The kind of love that doesn't require secrecy, silence, or shame. He'll tell you his relationship is in crisis, that he no longer feels anything for her, that they're together only for the children, or for appearances, or because life has become too tangled to unravel. He'll paint himself as the victim of a loveless home and make you feel like the rescuer, the only one who truly sees him, the only one who makes him feel alive again. And yet, the same man who claims he's unhappy still goes home to her. He still shares a bed, a routine, a life. He still chooses comfort over courage. Because here's the truth few women want to face. If he really wanted to leave, he already would have. Not tomorrow. Not when the time is right. Not after he sorts things out. He would have done it already. When a man wants to be free, he frees himself. But when he wants to have everything without losing anything, that's when he finds you, and that's when you lose yourself. He doesn't stay because of responsibility, or the kids, or fear of hurting someone. He stays because he wants to preserve his stability while feeding his hunger for novelty. He stays because he likes having someone who knows his chaos and someone who worships his charm. He stays because you allow him to live two lives and call it love. He will say, "You don't understand how complicated it is." But no, it's not complicated. It's cowardly. Complication is the excuse of those who lack the courage to choose. And while he keeps spinning his justifications, you keep waiting. Waiting for that perfect moment he promised. Waiting for the truth to catch up to his words. But it never does. Because that moment he keeps talking about, the day he'll finally leave, exists only in your imagination. You see, every time you try to walk away, he will pull you back. Not with action, but with emotion. He'll whisper, "Don't give up on me yet. I just need a little more time." And for a second, hope will feel stronger than your doubts. You'll start believing again, convincing yourself that maybe this time it will be different. But it won't. It never is. Because a man who builds his connection on deception cannot build a future on truth. The foundation is already cracked. No matter how much he tells you he loves you, that love lives in a world that can't exist in daylight. He'll message you when he can, not when you need him. He'll call you in secret, not in pride. He'll meet you in hidden places, not open arms. He'll say you're his peace, but in reality, you're his pause, a short escape before he returns to the life he refuses to change. You'll start to realize that your love doesn't grow. It waits. It waits in silence, in guilt, in stolen moments between his lies. It waits for him to choose you, to prove you're not just a secret in his phone, but all you'll ever get are fragments, tiny crumbs from a table that was never set for you. He already has someone to come home to, someone who shares his space, his mornings, his weekends, his holidays. And you, what do you have? The leftover hours, the late-night messages, the "I miss you" that never comes with real change. You're not being loved. You're being managed. You're being rationed affection, given just enough to keep you hoping, but never enough to set you free. And here's what most women don't realize until it's too late. When a man has two women, one of them always suffers, and it's never him. He gets the thrill, the validation, the double comfort. You get the waiting, the wondering, the ache of always being almost enough. He will feed you just enough hope to keep you alive, but never enough to let you live. That's how emotional manipulation works. It doesn't destroy you at once. It drains you slowly, with kindness that feels like love. But love is not secrecy. Love doesn't hide you. Love doesn't make you compete with someone who doesn't even know she's in the same story. Ask yourself this: who does he wake up next to every morning? Who has his name on legal documents, on photos, on social occasions? Who gets the recognition, the reality, the presence? If that answer isn't you, then you already know the truth. You are not his priority. You're his privilege. He treats you kindly, yes. He listens, yes. He may even cry in your arms, making you believe you're the only one who truly understands him. But tears don't equal truth. If all his emotions don't lead to action, then they're just performances meant to keep your heart invested while he continues to live unchanged. You think he's torn between two worlds, but he's not. He's exactly where he wants to be, enjoying the stability of one woman and the excitement of another. And as long as you stay, nothing will ever change. Because the man who hides you doesn't plan to reveal you. The man who asks you to wait is asking you to sacrifice your time for his comfort. And every day you stay, you teach him that you'll keep waiting. But my dear, waiting is not love, it's self-abandonment. When you accept crumbs, you teach the world that you're willing to starve. You deserve a man who calls you without fear, who meets you without guilt, who loves you without secrecy. A man who chooses you with both hands, not with one holding onto the past. Because love, real love, doesn't whisper behind closed doors. It doesn't beg for understanding while offering you uncertainty. It stands tall. It declares. It commits. If he keeps you hidden, it's because he never intended to make you visible. If he only reaches out when it's convenient, it's because you were never meant to be permanent. And one day, you'll wake up and realize that what you thought was love was only a mirror of your longing. You weren't chosen. You were used. used to fill a void, to soothe a bruised ego, to make him feel powerful again. But that's not your purpose. You are not someone's emotional therapy. You are not the reward for another man's unhappiness. You are not the half-secret chapter in someone else's story. You are the story. You are the main character, the heart, the pulse, the truth. And the moment you understand that, you stop waiting for a man to make a decision about you. You make the decision yourself. You walk away. Not out of anger, not out of pride, but out of clarity. Because when you finally see what's really happening, love doesn't disappear. It transforms. It becomes self-respect. It becomes awakening. It becomes the strength to say, I deserve more than this. When a man tells you he loves you, yet still goes home to another woman, believe his actions, not his words. Because words are easy to say in the dark. They flow effortlessly when there's no risk involved, when the world is asleep and accountability fades into silence. But true love does not whisper. It shows itself boldly, even when it's inconvenient. A man who truly chooses you doesn't keep you in the shadows. He doesn't limit you to messages that vanish, to phone calls that must be deleted, to meetings hidden behind the lie of a busy schedule. A man who chooses you will never ask you to be invisible. He will never make you carry the weight of his dishonesty. If he keeps you as a secret, he's not protecting you. He's protecting his comfort. He's protecting the illusion of integrity that he wants the world to see. And every time you accept that, you make it easier for him to keep living in two worlds. You become the quiet corner where his conscience hides. But my love, you weren't born to live in corners. You were born to be seen in the light. You were born to be chosen without hesitation. When a man truly loves, he doesn't need to be begged to choose. He doesn't postpone. He doesn't promise later. He doesn't say, I just need time. Because love doesn't ask for time. It demands truth. It asks for courage. And a man who hides behind timing is really hiding from himself. You'll know you've given too much when you start waiting for a message that doesn't come. When you start checking your phone at midnight, hoping he's thinking of you only to wake up to silence. You'll know when your laughter starts feeling heavy. When your reflection in the mirror looks like a woman who keeps waiting for something that was never promised. That is not love. It's captivity dressed in affection. Real love expands you. It frees you. It gives you peace, not anxiety. When love is real, you don't have to chase it, defend it, or hide it. It stands firm. It shows up. It chooses you fully, every single day. So, if you find yourself being chosen only in secret, then you're not being chosen. You're being used. Used to fill a void, to calm a fear, to make someone feel alive, while you lose pieces of yourself trying to hold on. And I know it hurts. Because when you love, you always believe you can fix what's broken. You believe your patience will change him. Your love will inspire him to finally do the right thing. You believe he will see your worth. But hear me, a man who needs your suffering to discover his courage will never be brave enough to love you. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is walk away, not to punish him, but to protect your peace, to remind yourself that love isn't proven by how long you can endure uncertainty, but by how quickly you recognize your own value. You are not a secret. You are not a distraction. You are not a cure for someone else's boredom. You are a woman worthy of open, fearless love, the kind that doesn't need to hide behind excuses or half-truths. And if he cannot offer you that, it's not your loss. It's his, because he's too afraid to let go of the comfort that keeps him small. He doesn't understand that you were never meant to be the side story. You were the lesson life sent him, the one he was too blind to learn. You deserve a man who will look you in the eyes and say, "I choose you completely." Not one who says, "I wish I could." You deserve a love that doesn't come wrapped in guilt, that doesn't make you question your worth every time he goes silent. You deserve mornings, not midnights. You deserve truth, not excuses. Imagine what it would feel like to wake up without waiting for a message that may never come. To breathe without wondering if you're being too much or asking for too little. To live without being trapped in the cycle of almost. That peace, that freedom is what real love feels like. Letting go will hurt, yes, but so does holding on to a story that keeps breaking you. And the longer you wait, the deeper the ache becomes. Because what you're clinging to isn't love, it's hope. And hope, without truth, turns into poison. The day you decide to stop being the hidden one, the secret one, the temporary one, that's the day your life begins again. That's the day you take back your power, your dignity, your light. Because one day you'll meet someone who doesn't ask you to hide. Someone who doesn't speak of timing or complications. Someone who looks at you and knows exactly what he wants. He won't hesitate. He won't promise later. He will act now. And that's how you'll know the difference between a man who wants you and a man who's ready for you. Until that day comes, don't waste your soul waiting for someone who feeds you with maybes. Let go of the illusion that you need to be someone's exception to feel special. You are already enough on your own. You are the home you keep looking for in others. When you finally choose yourself, everything changes. The silence no longer feels like punishment. It feels like peace. The absence of his messages no longer hurts. It feels like freedom. The space he left becomes sacred because it's the space where you grow back into yourself. Remember this: real love is not stolen, not borrowed, not hidden. It does not begin in betrayal, and it does not survive in secrecy. It doesn't require you to shrink to fit into someone else's life. It requires honesty, presence, and choice. So walk away, not because you stopped caring, but because you started seeing clearly. Because you finally understand that love without integrity is just manipulation with a prettier name. Because you finally believe that you deserve the kind of love that stands in the light. And one day, when you least expect it, you'll meet someone who doesn't just want you. He'll be ready for you. He'll show up in truth, not confusion. He'll love you without hiding, without guilt, without fear. And when that happens, you'll realize why this one had to end. Because you can't be fully chosen until you stop settling for being half-loved. You were never meant to be someone's secret chapter. You were meant to be the whole story. So close this one, gracefully. Let it end, not with bitterness, but with clarity. Because when you finally choose yourself, life begins to love you, back in ways no man ever could. You are not the escape. You are the awakening. You are not the substitute. You are the standard. And the moment you remember that, everything, absolutely everything, changes. So if he's still with someone else and still calling your name, remember this: love doesn't come disguised as secrecy. It doesn't whisper through guilt. It doesn't ask you to hide while it shines somewhere else. Love that makes you question your worth is not love. It's a lesson. Walk away, not because he stopped choosing you, but because you finally chose yourself. Let him keep his comfort, his chaos, his cowardice, and take back your power, your peace, your light. Because the moment you stop begging to be seen, the universe starts showing you what it means to be found. And when you finally meet the kind of love that stands tall in the daylight, the kind that doesn't apologize for wanting you, you'll smile at this memory, not with pain, but with gratitude. because this heartbreak was never meant to break you. It was meant to wake you. You are not the secret. You are the storm that ends the silence. And the next chapter of your life begins the second you whisper, "I'm done settling." If these words spoke to your soul, don't let them fade. Carry them. Follow Heartsync X for more truths that hurt first but heal forever. Because somewhere deep down, you already know, the real love story begins when you finally come home to yourself.